Hello everyone, Soberoni of G&A Reviews here, bringing you a spotlight for the servants who are here to support you whether you prefer chocolate, strawberry, or vanilla. The Valkyries. We'll be examining their stats and skills, as well as going over pointers to how to utilize them effectively, and an overall grade comparing them to how they stack up to the other 4-star servants. And if you'd like to join us here live for our servant spotlights and voice your opinions, just like chat over here, say hi to YouTube chat. And then be sure to follow us over on Twitch or join the party on our Discord, both linked in the description down below. And while you're down there, please do give the video a like because it really helps out the channel. And guys, I just want to mention I've been reading your comments and receiving the feedback on these spotlight videos. Thank you so much for that. I'm working on incorporating all of your comments and feedback into the spotlights to make them a bit more structured and easier to watch on YouTube as VODs. So we're going to keep making these spotlights better, keep giving us feedback, leave your comments respectfully, I'll take a look at them, and I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. But for now, onto the Valk stats. So the Valkyries have a max HP of 10,580, and max attack of 9,741. They do have high attack for assassins, which is not saying much. However, they have pretty low HP. They also have, what's their star generating? Actually, I have it wrong here. 25.5% star generating rate and a 0.23% NP charge rate, which is really low. I didn't look it up, but that seems like the lowest NP gain rate I've ever seen in the game. 0.23%. They do have a quick art stack with quick arts buster. They have 3 hits on their quick cards, 4 hits on their arts, 3 hits on their buster, and 5 hits on their extra. However, despite some good hit counts, they have abysmal, horrible NP gain because that 0.23% is really, really bad. Their star generating is also not very good for an assassin. It's just mediocre. They are kind of different from most assassins in that they're built to be offensive assassins. They have very high attack power, but they're very bad defensively, and they have very bad utility in a class that's supposed to be heavily based on their utility. So they're different. But let's take a look at their skills and see if that makes up for it. Their first skill is SMG SAM 66, rank B. This skill increase, oh my god, I just realized I have all their skills ranked 10. What is wrong with me? Side note, anyway, their first skill increases their quick card effectiveness and arts card effectiveness by between 10 and 20% for 3 turns. It also increases their crit damage for 3 attacks between 50 and 100%. All of these effects depending on level. Their second skill is a Valkyrie style team combat rank B+, which increases the party's attack for 3 turns between 10 and 20%. Also grants the party evasion for 1 attack, and increases the NP gain of the Valkyries for 3 turns between 10 and 20%. Both of those effects depending on level. Finally, their last skill is War Maiden's Troth rank EX, which increases charges an ally's NP gauge by 20%, restores between 1,000 and 3,000 HP to that ally, and generates between 10 and 20 crit stars, both of those effects depending on level. Going down to their passives, they only have 2, which are Presence Concealment rank B, which increases their crit star generating by 8%, and Divinity rank A, which is just a flat 200 buff to their attack. As for their append skills, they have the stereotypical mana loading and extra card damage. They do have extra damage against saber enemies, which isn't really worth taking. As for their deck and Noble Phantasm, like I mentioned, quick art stack with quick arts buster, and an arts Noble Phantasm. The Valkyrie's Noble Phantasm is Flagia Valkyrie. It's an AoE arts attack that deals damage to all enemies, with a modifier between 450 and 750%, depending on level. also has a 40% chance to instant kill demonic enemies, and it deals an extra damage to earth attribute enemies depending on overcharge, that extra damage being between 150 and 200%. Whew, that's a lot. So, Ascension map materials. They are a welfare servant, so level Ascension, very easy for them. You basically get them for free from the event. They need Ward Maidens berets, which you get for free from the event. But for their skills, they're going to need 12 seashells, 11 phoenix plumes, 60 bullets, and 10 reactor cores per skill. Obviously, that's a lot of bullets. Whether you want to invest that many bullets like an absolute madman, like me apparently, is up to you. Yeah, per skill, 60, you need 100, 18, 180 bullets. So let's talk about what the Valkyries do. They are the welfare servant for this event, so everyone's going to get them for free just for participating in the event, which is good. I don't want this to be a pure, hater spotlight. Their main role in the team is to be an AoE arts looper. So they're arts farmers. They're your stereotypical 3-turn arts loopers that work in Castoria teams. And despite their really, really bad NP gain on their face cards, they actually have really good NP looping capabilities. Part of the reason for that is they do have a lot of NP battery built into their kit with that 20% charge and 20% NP gain. They also have a 20% arts buff, and they have a huge 10-hit NP, which does a lot of the heavy lifting. They get a ton of NP refund. So they're very capable of looping, and because all of their buffs last for 3 turns, and they have so many hits on their NP, they do loop pretty comfortably in Castoria teams. So you can kind of view them as the free AoE NP looping, DPS that we get from Lasangel. They also come free at NP5, so they have decent damage. Again, they're assassins, so don't expect anything crazy. But free NP5 servants will always hit pretty hard, so they are capable of farming some higher level nodes in free quests and stuff. They're essentially just built to be arch looping servants. That's what they do. I guess you can kind of view them as a consolation prize for those of you who missed out on Summer Ibuki. They can pretty much fill her role, although in a much, much, much lesser fashion. It does make them invaluable free-to-play players, though, and new players alike who may not have, like, a Spishtar or Musashi or Summer Ibuki, because they do enable you to farm things much easier with Castoria. And even without Castoria, if you take, like, a support Castoria and you have, like, a Paracelsus or something, or a Zufu, you can farm pretty efficiently. On the downside, though, they don't do much of anything else. They have atrocious, horrible stats. Really poor stats across the board. They have bad face card damage due to their class. They don't really have any good damage steroids. And they do have a good party-wide evasion skill, which is some nice utility. But that's it. They don't really have any other utility. There's really no point in using them outside of just 3-turn farming. They don't really do anything else. So for that reason, when it comes to skill order, you're going to want to buff pick your arts buff first, followed by charisma, and then the last skill, the NP charge. You want to leave NP charge for last only because the NP charge itself doesn't scale with level. It's a flat 20% at every level. The only thing that scales here is the crit stars and the HP heal, so it's not worth leveling first. You want to make sure you get your maximum arts buff first. And the only append skill worth taking is mana loading, because it helps with farming. As for their Noble Phantasm, again, it's very strong for looping. 10 hits on it makes it really have a really good NP refund. It is free NP5, so it has decent damage despite being an assassin. It does do bonus damage against Earth enemies, which there are a lot of in the game. So the Valkyries will situationally have some extra damage against like third wave servant enemies in some nodes, which can make some nodes doable, like level 90 nodes with them, which is nice to have again if you're free to play or newer and you don't have a dedicated arch looper. They can fill that role pretty well. Of course, the instant kill is beyond the meme. Never worry about the instant kill. It's never going to trigger. It's whatever. Especially because their instant kill is only against demonic enemies, so it's the most useless form of instant kill that you'll never see trigger. As far as pros go for them, again, they're free, they're easy to use in Castoria teams, they're consistent, they do their job. Cons, everything else. They have no versatility, they're not really usable outside of arts farming teams. Assassin is a horrible class for DPS. But they're free. I do wish they had some more steroids in their kit, though. They don't have much competition because there's not really any other arts looping assassins. So I guess you can say they're the best arts looping assassins in the game. Because there's no one else. As far as team comp goes, Castoria, number one. You definitely want to use them with Castoria. If you don't have Castoria, you can always go with the free-to-play options like Paracelsus and Zufu. Summer Nito. Summer Nito's not that great at looping either. That's some cope. They're definitely better loopers than Summer Nito. I would say Summer Nito's better at, like, Challenge Quest stuff. But yeah, no. Castoria, Paracelsus, Zufu, very good for budget stuff. Oberon can be very nice. If you have Oberon, just throw him in there, give him a little bit of extra damage for the third wave. Their Bond CE is not worth using. It just increases Arch card effectiveness for the party by 10%, and it increases the crit damage of the Valkyries by 20%. Not really worth it. Just stick with the typical looping farming CEs for Arch Servants. So, for example, Kaleidoscope, Ocean Flyer, anything like that. For command codes, you can go with Da Vinci, the Da Vinci Chan CE or command code for the extra NP damage. They need as much extra NP damage as they can get, so it helps a bit. Man, it's so hard to rate servants like this because overall, I guess, the Valkyries have one job and they do that one job pretty well. They're really good free-to-play arch loopers. So if you are a free-to-play player or a new player, you will get good use out of them. They're good at that. But they don't really do anything else. And I really wouldn't use them even as DPS servants in story. They're pretty weak. They're really weak. So it's tough to grade them, but yeah, we're going to touch on EO. The other thing thank you for reminding me of InSpirit, actually. This is why I'm glad Chad is here, to remind me of my things I didn't write down. But yeah, keep in mind, we do get EO in a couple of months. Another free-to-play arts looper who is vastly superior to the Valkyries. So even if you are free-to-play or a new player, they're going to get outclassed really, really quickly in a couple of months by another free-to-play welfare servant. So you're better off just waiting for EO. Still, though, they do their job. I can't fault them for that. So I'm going to give them a B. B+? B. I'm taking it off the plus because EO's coming out soon. They get a B. Like I said, very good if you're a new player, you're a free-to-play player, and you don't have a reliable arch looper yet. They're worth getting. I mean, they're worth getting for everyone because they're free, but outside of that, they're going to get replaced really, really quickly by EO. And if you're an endgame player, you definitely have other far better arts loopers on your team. So you'll probably just pick your favorite Valkyrie and call it a night. I know I did. Shout out to all my Hilder stands out there. B minus? That's you, chat. I'll give them a B. I'll be nice. I'll be nice and give them a B. But yeah, let me know which Valkyrie you're picking in the comments down below. Chocolate, strawberry, or vanilla? What is your flavor of Valkyrie?